You are my linen garment I put on. Lord, you are my linen garment I put on, while I minister to in the inner court. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat. Lord, you are my linen garment I put on. Lord, you are my linen garment I put on, while I minister to in the inner court. Oh, your garments smell of earth and aloe, of acacia. Oh, your garments smell of myrrh and aloe, of acacia, as I minister to in the inner court.
And
we're back.
We're back. And this is going to be another episode of
Becoming a
Linenite. Prepare yourselves. Chelsea has some unction in her gumption. Oh yeah, she's been ferociously linenizing herself and this family, so get ready.
I'm not going to be by myself this whole episode, but it's good to see you all. And yes, I'm not wearing something on my head for once. I actually got a shower. It's been a long time. I don't want to tell you how long, but it's been a very long time.
Rivers count?
Yeah, rivers and creeks have been counting a lot lately. Oh, I can see you back there. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Look, all I have to do is lean away and they can see you. Yes, rivers and creeks have been amazing to swim in. They've been so invigorating and just life-giving and relaxing. Like, it's so good to swim in living water. Can I just say that? Instead of the chlorinated, nasty city tap water, like in our showers, you guys. It feels so good to just have like a dip in the creek or a spring or a natural waterfall. I mean, that is nature's shower, right? It's the most turbulent, like, serious shower you could ever get. It seriously washes your hair better than you can. It's awesome. Anyway, that being said, I also wear a lot of head wraps because after you have a baby, you have what's called a mass shedding, where you're okay, so when you're pregnant, your body holds on to its hair, right? It holds on to all of the hair that you would naturally be shedding. That's why pregnant women's hair looks amazing. It's so full. It's got all this body. It's long. It's healthy. It's shiny. It just looks amazing. It's because your body's holding on to all that hair that normally you would just naturally be shedding. And then at the end, after you have a baby, your body's like, okay, we don't need all this hair anymore. And it goes, ah, and all the hair starts to fall out. It kind of feels like you're going bald, or it feels like you're having this mass hair loss. It's really intense. It's really kind of an emotional thing for women to go through. I don't know that all women go through this, but I sure have gone through it with both of my children. And, it's very humbling, and you actually have like bald spots and thinning spots, and my bangs are so thin even still. My hair is still regrowing and working on itself. But anyway, that's why I wear a lot of hats and head wraps and things, because my hair just got so thin. It just got so thin and all of it fell out. And now it's finally, like a year after I had her, it's finally like stopped shedding. So maybe we're going to have some hair growth again here. All right, let's talk about why we're here. This episode is going to be about tips and tricks and hacks for repurposing clothing. I'm not an expert, you guys. I am so beginner sewer over here, okay? However, how do you learn anything? trial and error, YouTube videos, reading books, learning from somebody who is an expert and teaching you as a mentor. Hands-on experience is the best. So what I'm doing is I go to the thrift store. When I'm at the thrift store, my creative mind just is churning, and I can really, I don't know, I see something, whatever, shirt, dress, fun pattern, cool color, neat shape, and I instantly see what it can be. I think, oh, this is great. It's got a great feel. It's soft. I like the buttons. This could be a cool pillowcase. This could be a towel. This could be whatever. I like the sleeves on this. I'm going to take the sleeves and add it to that other dress that I have and, make that dress for a little girl or whatever you want to do with it. Some of the things that I've learned just in my brief time of repurposing this clothing lately has been when you're repurposing, it's important to, at least for me, because I do not have a lot of free time to sew. A lot of times I'm sewing at night, trying to get some sewing done while my children are sleeping. And sometimes they don't sleep all through the night or even for an hour. So they'll wake up and I have to go back in and nurse Jubilee back to sleep. And then I'll come back out and get back to my project. But it's very interrupted. I just don't have the time to do it. Just wanted to show you another quick repurpose slash maybe just tailoring of a extra small women's short and making it to fit my 4-year-old. They're from Forever 21 and they're 50% linen, 50% rayon. They have these adorable pockets on the side. So I want to keep those intact because she likes pockets. So all I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna probably just gather it in on the back here. Literally all I'm gonna do is probably fold this in just like this. Flip it inside out, sew it straight down, maybe sew it kind of coming down at an angle like this, and then trim that off, and then fold the seams flat and fold them kind of under themselves so they won't fray in the wash, and then that's it, kind of a zip, easy fix. It's very clearly not nap time any longer. However, trying to get some sewing in when I can. Okay, so did you guys see what I did at the back there? So all I did, and look at, I used white thread instead of pink. Well, sometimes I don't have time to change out the thread and I just need to get something done. So this is Amateur Hour with Chelsea. And that's okay, that's okay. Sometimes we're just getting the job done. So all I'm gonna do is take my scissors, snip, snip, snip. So you can see remember that edge? I took them, I split it down the middle, folded them out, tucked them under, and then just sewed them straight down. Here you go, and this is what the back looks like. So not bad. I mean, you can just see my seams a little bit because of the color that I used. And like I said, you guys, I am not a perfect sewer, so I don't even care. But that's the back. And then now they're much, much smaller and they're gonna fit my little toddler. So what helps me when I'm repurposing is when you take a garment, you're gonna wanna use what the garment already has to offer. Like, keep that in mind. Buttons, if you like the buttons and they can be used on whatever else you're making and you can still use the buttons and the buttonholes, use them. The seams, you guys, they already did all the work for you. Doing these seams is so tedious. I ain't got time for that. I mean, I'll do it if I have to do it, but like on a open edge of something. But if I can help it and use the seams that the garment already has as my main seam or as the edge of whatever I'm doing, that really helps save a lot of time as well. All right, I made a fabulous linen sheet for Naomi's bed, and it cost about $5 because we got it from the Goodwill by the bulk. 100% linen shirts that are maybe not in the most complimentary of colors. So I think that's why they were in the bin bulk side, but better for us. So what I did was I cut the sleeves out and I just sewed a nice straight line. As you can see down on this one, there's the pocket from one of the shirts still. But anyway, I just sewed them, and then on the side you can still see the buttonholes on this. And I lined up all the buttonholes of the shirt on the one side, and then it left all the buttons on the other side. So anyway, yeah, I thought it turned out pretty good. Keep in mind with these shirts, you can cut the sleeves off, use the sleeve, put it on another garment, and easily sew it on there. And then also you can hem this shirt and make a sleeveless top. So you can have a sleeveless top and use the sleeve for something else.
Linen cools you down. As soon as I get a little wet, meaning I basically soak my shirts and clothing in water before I get to work. And then as I get a little breeze, I'm instantly cooled down. So
another example would be like pant legs, cutting them off. And the part that you cut off, that's the raw part. If you're making a washcloth or a napkin or something like that, you literally fold it inside out, sew it, and then fold it back on itself, and then you have that nice clean seam. And then I always save the seams like this that are already really nice to be my seam that I have to top sew on to close it up. So those are just some tips that I have about repurposing items. Save all the buttons, save all the zippers if they work and they're intact. You can use them on other garments. Like I said, just being creative, really get those wheels churning with, okay, can I use this? Can I put this together? Can I make these work? Can I, and be creative with color patterns and just putting different things together that you maybe normally wouldn't think of putting together. For this apron, for example, like I said, this was a large women's skirt, and these were men's pants. And I literally, you guys, this is the top. Actually, is this the top of the pant? This is the bottom of the pant. Can you see that it's already like hemmed? I didn't do that. So it was already nice. It was already sewed. It already had the nice edges. All I had to do was this bottom part that I cut kind of in a circle. I don't know if you could see that. Anyway, these were super easy. And look, see, it's a pant pocket. Like I left this is like the leg of a pant. Do you get what I'm saying? So just be creative with how you're repurposing, because it'll save you time and it'll make the garment kind of unique and kind of funky. Yeah, I just started making sleep masks, you guys. The little eye pillows. Oh my. Look at that.
Where'd you go? Don't ask me.
This is so exciting, you guys. The other night, I had sewn, okay, so my beginning sewing here in this Linenite journey, we found I think a 50-50 dress that was a size 10 girls dress, and I basically folded it up a little bit like this so that it was it sat higher up on her shoulders, so the neck wasn't swooping super low. I added a piece of fabric across here, and then I added some little sleeves just to make it a little more modest. However, the dress was really long because it was a size 10, and it ended up being a floor-length dress on Naomi, and so it was kind of beautiful how it worked out. So even bigger dresses, or even women's extra small or small dresses, if you pull up the shoulders and you kind of bring in the arms a little bit, you can actually make them for a little 4-year-old girl, and they will be floor-length dresses, and she loves them. She loves them. So I've been experimenting with dresses, like I said, women's dresses, or just girls' dresses, and then adding my own touch and flair to them. And adding linen, whatever. And Naomi actually helped me with one of the dresses, which I think kind of is super cute, and it looks like a little Renaissance dress. It had purple sleeves that I added from another shirt. I literally cut the sleeves off of this small women's purple shirt, and then I added it to an extra small women's dress. And then I was going to do some pockets, and I always hold the fabric up and I'm like, Naomi, do you want pockets out of this, or what color do you want it? I try to incorporate her. And so anyway, she built out this dress, you guys. It's so cute. And she's been wearing it. It's been
She loves it.
fantastic.
She loves
and
it.
so she wanted to wear it to bed the other night. And I was like, we don't really wear our dresses to bed. You got to put on a nightgown. But I just haven't got around to making her a nightgown yet. And she goes, Mommy, I would love a linen nightgown. Would you make me a linen nightgown? And I was like, well, of course. I'm not going to say no. So anyway, I tried my best last night to make her a one-of-a-kind little linen nightgown.
Out of pants. Out of pants.
Out of some pink, I think they were like double XL pants, and they were 100% linen. And anyway, I made her this little dress. It's definitely very homemade.
Oh my gosh. It actually looks like a human made it, not a machine, which is better.
Yeah, no pattern. I'm sure I'll get to the point where I start using patterns as I get better at sewing, and I want things to look a little bit more professional. Right now, they just have that very homemade Chelsea creative stamp on them right now. And you know what, though? They're one-of-a-kind pieces. And they're just creative little art pieces.
They look like love.
And a lot of love went into them. So
like
I
my
made her
finger, she
nightgown.
stitched that up too. That was one of her first major sewing projects.
That is true.
And another man's hand on the farm. See, you were stitching all kinds of. She was stitching flesh.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yeah, I did have a little sewing experience, little hand sewing.
Nobody was screaming while she sewed this linen outfit last night.
Yeah, so that was an improvement.
We have a Facebook group that we just started called It's Becoming a Linenite Facebook group. So if you're interested at all, it's a place where we can share tips for sewing. People can share their enthusiasm and their excitement for a 100% linen garment that they hunted at the thrift store. There's tips on where to purchase linen, washing linen, caring for linen, dyeing linen, research that's out there on linen. There's all kinds of discussion going on constantly on this group. It's just an awesome community on there. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, go ahead and head over to our Facebook page, which brings me into my next point. Something else I want to bring up is something that people have been talking about on the Facebook page a lot is where do we get linen? Where do we find good linen? A lot of people have been talking about eBay on there, which sounds pretty awesome. Sounds like it's been a plentiful, good place to find linen, but can be a little bit more expensive. So if you are a little bit on a tighter budget, like us, thrifting can be one of your best bets. I know in the northern climates, it can be a little more difficult to find linen at the thrift stores or donated. But I also think too that sometimes it might just be that you guys haven't trained your eye yet to find it and you haven't hunted thoroughly. Nathan and I, when we go to the thrift store, I am not even exaggerating. We go through the entire thrift store. We go through the men's section, the women's section, the pants, the shirts, the skirts, the shorts, the dresses, the tablecloth / linen section, right? Where they have bed linens and towels and different things like that. Even look through that because there are treasures just hiding in.
How much?
$30.47. Check this out.
For an entire...
Linen comforter.
Excuse me, Naomi.
Linen comforter. Yep. Linen curtains.
It's okay,
Yep.
Naomi.
Don't worry, we found linen tablecloths, the big kind, the heavyweight kind. Not to mention dresses, shirts,
All 100%.
pants. 100%, y'all. Everything you're looking at, except for the spatula. Shocker. Even hand-embroidered beautiful things. Look at this. Come on. It's a linen highway.
That one. Crate and barrel.
I found this on a drive-by linening.
Snatching. Snatch it right out.
Snatched it right out of the flames.
Wow.
So make sure you thoroughly comb the thrift store. That is really, really important because if you're just going by your size, chances of you finding a linen garment that's exactly in your size, you may find one, you may find a couple if it's a good day, but some days you might not find any, and then it might discourage you, and really there's still linen to be had in that thrift store. You just need to get creative with it. And what I love about the thrift store is that it is cheaper, and the whole idea behind repurposing is that it's an experimental, like artistic, creative outlet, I guess, or at least that's how I look at repurposing clothing. Plus, it feels so stinking good to be able to make clothes for your family and to clothe your family as a woman. I feel like that is one of our duties that has been lost. It's this pastime. It's this lost art. I feel like women used to make clothes. They used to sew things for their family, and I mean pretty exclusively. And now we just buy stuff, and we buy stuff that isn't even good for our bodies, or our children's bodies to wear or be on or be in contact with. And so I want to encourage you, even if you don't know how to sew, just take it up. There's no better time like the present to learn a new skill.
Okay, I just want to talk about this real quick, you guys. 1, repurposing clothing. I have never felt better. I love repurposing clothing so much, and I love making clothes for my family, you guys. I think this is what women have been missing out on. I think this is something that women used to do for their families, and they used to feel like an extra sense of like purpose or satisfaction in the home as this being one of their home duties, right? Like this is our homework. Like if we work out of the home, like we cook, we clean, we take care of the children, we do the laundry, we do whatever the house needs, right? But I think a big component of that is making our children's clothes. I think, and clothing our family, you guys, just like the Proverbs 31 woman. I think we're totally missing it when we're not making clothing for our families. And I just want to encourage you guys that I have felt so fulfilled in my role as a mom and as a wife since I've started making clothing. And I am such an amateur sewer, you guys. I can't even tell you, okay? These are some shorts for my husband. I'm making some linen boxer shorts, okay? I sewed them and I cut them off, and I was hemming the edge, right? And it looks I mean decent enough, right? I double hemmed it so it wouldn't fray. Like we're doing it, we're going places. Oh wait. Wait. The tag is on the inside and my hem is oops, on the outside. Oh well, I just want to tell you guys, at least I'm doing it. At least I'm trying. And you know what? I won't do this again. And I'm not going to take the time, the tedious time to use my seam ripper and rip all of this out just to hem it on the inside. Not worth it at this point. They're done. He actually has shorts that he can wear as an undergarment. I think that's a win. Now, is the hem on the outside versus the inside? Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I won't do that again, and I'll make sure that I improve that next time, right? But that's part of being a beginner sewer. That's part of being a beginner in any skill that you try to learn. You know, anything you're trying to learn that's new, you're gonna make mistakes. But I want you to say, I just want to tell you that the mistakes aren't the problem. The problem is if we let the mistakes keep us from making clothes for our family, okay? And you're only going to get better the more you do it. The more you sew, the more you're going to learn, and we learn from our mistakes a lot of times. So honestly, this is still a success because it's a garment that he can wear right now, and I mended it, and it's not going to fray in the washer. It's just that the hem's on the inside, not the outside, so it's not as... This is part of being a mom too, is that a baby crawls over when you're trying to vlog and she'll just fuss in your ear and you're in your face. But that's part of being a mom too, and you just have to deal with it. I guess what I'm trying to say is I just want to encourage you women out there who don't sew, are scared to sew, are a very, very beginner sewer, and just the thought of making clothing seems so daunting, because it seemed so daunting when I first got into it, you guys. Even tailoring clothes, so daunting. Like, oh my gosh, how could I ever do this? Like, I could never make something that I'm wearing. Like, how could I ever do that? But little by little, I've just tried out my skills. First sewing straight lines, then sewing some curves, then cutting hems off, cutting pants off and hemming them, and then sewing darts in shirts, and then I've just kind of gone from there. Even sewing sleeves on, like, which can be really challenging. Bringing in the waists on pants and skirts. And I just want to encourage you that you will learn as you go, And this is not about perfectionism. This is not about being the best, you guys. This is about being the best homemaker that you can be and the best mother and wife that you can be. And the start on that journey is by getting a sewing machine and starting to sew clothes for your family. I mean it, you guys. You will feel so good. You will feel so fulfilled. Like, we were made to do this, you guys. Like, God, Father Yahweh created us as women to be able to do this for our families. Like, we were created like with this instinct in us to want to clothe and to want to help dress our families. And I didn't even know that I had this in me until I started doing this. And I realized, like, oh wow, this is a really big, valuable piece of my life as a woman, as a mother, as a wife that I have been missing. You guys, we've been missing out. We've been robbed. They've been trying to sell us a bad thing in this world, saying that getting the women out of the home, trying to make them go out to work, abandon their children for somebody else to raise, for someone else to teach and train up, and abandoning our wifely duties, our housely duties, and our motherly duties, which is making clothing for our children, you guys. They got us out of the home, they got us working 9 to 5s, and they got us away from being effective in the family. And that is where we are. Naomi, excuse me.
I need to get a flashlight.
Excuse me, please.
Mama, I need
A flashlight, yes. Here you go. All right, thank you very much. But it's getting us away from what we were made to do, how Yah created us, and how we function best within the design that Yah created, having the husband as the head, the husband as the provider, and the woman as the helpmate, co-laborer, armor bearer. Like, we were made to do this, you guys. So I just want to encourage you, don't let fear keep you from a duty. Keep you from a womanly duty, a Proverbs 31 womanly duty, which is making clothes for your family, you guys, and you will feel so good. And you know what? It's okay to make mistakes. You know what? It's still clothing, and it's still gonna go on my husband, and he's still gonna wear it, and it's still gonna bless him. It's just not perfect. It's just not like up to my standards of how I like things to look right now. But I will learn, and next time they will be. Next time they'll get better. Next time they'll look nicer. And eventually your family will have a really nice wardrobe. Eventually your clothes and your skills will get better and better and better. I mean, think about the Hebrews or the Israelites. Do you think they were walking around in like the most perfect of clothing? No, but they were walking around in handmade clothing from their wife, from their mother, from their grandmother, from their friend. Like, we got to get to sewing. We got to get back to the natural ways of doing things. And you know what? I guarantee you, getting a linen something from the thrift store, from wherever, tailoring it so that your family can actually wear it, use it, is far superior to them putting polyester on their body. It may fit her perfectly. It may look good, you know, those cutesy little outfits and stuff. But I'm telling you, I can feel it when my daughter is wearing linen. She is more well behaved. Like, she feels better about herself. And I want to help her do that. And I also want to make modest clothes for my daughter so that my daughter can be modest too. That's the other thing. All that polyester is so clingy. It just accentuates every little thing. Why does a child need to be in this skin tight leggings and skin tight this and skin tight that? Like, they shouldn't be. They're little children. Like, we should protect their innocence as mothers. We should protect their innocence. Hold on one second. We should protect their innocence. And we should make sure that our children are dressing modestly, that we're dressing modestly, and that we're not creating lust in other people, or causing people to stumble or causing people to sin. We should be clothing ourselves in modesty and clothing our family in modesty. And this is one way to help do that, by you making the clothes instead of depending on the department stores. And while you're making this thing, it's like when you're cooking the food and you're making food for people and you're putting all this love, this intentionality, this emotion, into the food you're cooking, and people can taste it. They can taste the love, right? Well, it's the same thing with sewing. You're putting this intentionality and you're thinking about the person, and you're putting all this love and effort into this garment that then they get to put on. And how good does that feel? Like, I love homemade gifts. Like I think the best gifts are homemade gifts. And when you get a homemade gift, like you feel the love, like you feel the time and the energy and the effort and intentionality that went into them making something for you because they love you and they care about you. And you can feel that in the homemade item. And so it's powerful, you guys. I'll get off my soapbox, but I just wanted to get out there and encourage you guys. Don't give up if you're making mistakes. Don't give up if it's hard. Don't not start sewing because you're afraid of making mistakes. That's a huge reason why I think people just don't even try in the beginning, because they don't want to make a mistake. They're too afraid. It's pride, you guys. It's too afraid to mess up. It's too afraid to be inadequate. But you know what? I'm an amateur, and I will be the first person to say that. I make mistakes all the time. And that's okay. And you know what? My seams aren't perfect and my color thread doesn't match perfectly. And sometimes, how I hemmed something, was quick because I just needed to get it done. But it's doing the job. And that is the job of clothing my family. And that is of utmost importance to me right now. It feels good, you guys. You will feel so good and satisfied as a mom, as a wife, to be able to clothe your family. Do it.